What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Coaching the Culture podcast.
Moving upward, can't be boasting about these vultures. Get negativity over. We just coaching up the culture. This for my sisters and brothers, stepdaddies and single mothers. Every topic we gon' cover. We just coaching up the culture. Coaching the culture.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Culture podcast. This is where faith, family, and sports collide. This platform is designed to help people create winning cultures in their respective spaces. Today, I'm honored and pleasure to have two guys that I've known for a very long time. One guy being my A1 since day one. And what's crazy is me and him both met Mr. Terell together. I mean, just kind of doing what we was doing, starting our own AAU program, and Mike Metcalf was helping me out. And then he was one of the kids that we was actually working with at the time, man. He was really close friends with some of the guys on our team. He couldn't play for me because he was too old, but he was always around. He was always at practice. I was always picking him up, taking him home. And so now this episode today, we're going to talk about coaching the culture and the culture of coaching the culture, because all three of us are coaches in our own respective spaces, and we help other people to achieve their common goals. Mike is doing it on a corporate level, helping businesses and organizations create cultures. He's doing it on the youth level, helping kids with their way of life and helping them to navigate life the best way with the challenges and stuff that they face. And of course, I work with kids in basketball. I also work with them doing the same thing as far as coaching them. And now I'm doing the mental mindset coaching platform. So we're going to get into it, man. We got a lot of things we want to talk about. But first, I want these guys to introduce themselves and tell a little bit of their story and how they what they're doing now, how they got to that point, what motivated them to get there. Terell, I'm going to start with you. Shout it out, tell them your name and your organizations and all that stuff.
Terell McCrae, husband, father.
Gotta say that husband first. Wifey
gotta
watching.
Gotta say the husband first. Shout out to wifey. CEO, visionary of Building Strong Mindsets. It's a mentoring organization here in Charlotte, North Carolina that we started in 2017. I'm also the youth development specialist at the Harvest Center of Charlotte. I think what ignited me to start Building Strong Mindsets is just thinking about something the city didn't have. Like, a lot of people complain about what's not there and what we don't have and things of that sort. So, I started to create something that I feel that would be useful and impactful. I know when starting in it was just trying to get kids to change, but now we changed it to wanting the kids to get the information, right? So now you have the information and you don't have the excuse that everybody our age or older might say, well, I ain't never had nobody.
Right.
So this generation of kids is they won't have that excuse. Yeah. Now, if you don't want the help, or you don't want the mentorship, or you don't want a fellowship with some brothers such as ourselves and younger and all demographics and all cultures comes together, and that's what we want to do. If you don't want that, we don't want to force kids, or we don't want to force parents to be involved in what we're doing. So yeah, that's where we at right now.
So let me ask you this, Terell, because I know you said that you started this because finding something that Charlotte didn't have, right? Filling a void, filling a need. But did any of your childhood experience contribute to you wanting to do this?
Of course. Just growing up, originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, everybody know that, but grew up on West Boulevard, Parker Heights, apartments, a community that's known for a lot of things, not that much of positive things. I'm probably like one of the only positive people that come out of there and then go back. We did a second annual back to school drive there just past August before the school. And then we did one in 2018, our first one. No, I want to say 2019 was the first one. Great turnout. Got to meet some kids. Got to see where I came from and how it really didn't change. Yeah. I think it's still the challenges that I faced and my friends faced is still there, if not even a little worse. But the way we grew up, it's the same, but it's just a different. It's like a different pair of jeans. I would say.
Word.
Like if you switching up jeans, it's the same material, but it's a different design.
Yeah.
So when we was growing up, we didn't have no positive role models at all in Parker Heights. We had no dads was living there. It was all single moms. All of us had single moms. It wasn't no programs that they had over there, things that we always had to seek outside of Parker Heights or outside of West Boulevard to get some motivation, whether that's going to school, whether that's being a part of AAU teams, school, basketball. I mean, that was our only thing. Yeah. And that was the only way we got real rep as being a hooper. Like, if you ain't play AAU or you ain't play school ball, we don't care about what you can do on the court or at the LJ or at wherever it was on the west side. We didn't care. If you ain't play for your school, you was not a hooper. Yeah. And y'all can quote me on that. Right. All these new hoopers, quote me on that.
Bro, if you ain't playing at your that's a fact, bro. You ain't playing at your school. What we talking about?
You did not get no credit. We don't care what you did in rec league, church league. We don't care. No. If we don't see you in that Charlotte Inquirer,
that's it.
With your stats, that's to your name. You was not him.
No,
straight
not at
up.
all. Man, let me take this time in to give you your flowers, bro, because I'm definitely proud of you, man, and I'm definitely impressed because when back in the day, whenever we had our AAU team and we was picking you guys up, bro, y'all came from nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all. And we know a lot of guys that, might have went left, might have went right, whatever the case may be. But just not having that, foundation early, like you could have easily been in the streets and stayed in the streets, right? But like, bro, like once again, to defy the odds, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like the statistics is crazy, you know what I'm saying? But to defy the odds, like, and for my listeners, if you listen to some of my previous podcasts, he was part of that group that I said I coached the AAU team, and I never met the parents. Like I met like 3 parents the whole summer.
I remember.
Yep, never met the parents. Like they caught the bus to my first practice, and then from after that, I was probably picking them up and taking them ever since then. But never met the parents. We go out of town and come back, and one kid parent had moved, and we ain't know where, you know what I'm saying? We ain't know where he was, what he was at. So like,
and people would think you're making this stuff up,
bro.
Like, I was there.
Yeah, can't make it up. And I was just telling him, like, before we started, that I was like, bro, I don't know if I didn't have no money back then. Everything was coming out of my pocket. I had enough to do what I was doing, but I wasn't like rolling into Benjamin. So like after practice, he's like, Coach Mel, can you take us to McDonald's? So thank God for that value menu. That was so clutch, because I could spend $3 and get you straight. You know what I'm saying?
Burger, drinking the fry. Burger, drinking the fry. That's it.
That's it. It gets you straight. But you know what I'm saying. But big ups to you, man, because
appreciate you.
That means a lot, man. That shows a lot about your character. It shows a lot about your resilience. It shows a lot about who you are as a person. Not to just be successful and make it out of it, but to even go back to help the ones that's there, bro. So, man, hey, real talk.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Metcalf, my boy, man, my homie, my ace, my brother, man, like, bro, we go back like 4 flats on a Cadillac.
Let's go.
Man, tell them your journey. You got a lot more to talk about. We a little bit older than real. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm going to keep it short. So, I obviously... husband, father, let's pay the bills.
Yep.
Husband first.
Man. Believer, always investing in my faith. I think that's really important. I think that's the thing that's carried me, on those days where I didn't feel like I could carry myself, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoyed my friendships, man. I think, you have to have good people in your corner regardless of what you want to do or where you work, live. If you don't have good people, man, you're missing out on one of the best gifts that God puts on this planet, and you got to have good people in your corner. Man, I'm oldest of 4, grew up in Charlotte, athlete, always been active, like to move, walked on at App State, played high school. I played on my high school team. I played on my high school team, Charlotte Christian. So I grew up at Victory Christian, and then I left there, went to Charlotte Christian. So growing up with a bunch of friends and then having to play against them was always interesting. But we could always chop it up afterwards. The game was never bigger than the relationships. Got into so college football player. From there, two ACL tears in college. So
Hold on before you continue. So you walked on that app?
yeah, so I walked on at Carson Newman College.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I started at Carson.
I knew
Newman
you was at
College.
Carson, but I didn't know you walked on.
Then I walked on at app. Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
earned a scholarship. And
Okay.
ended up, doing
Yeah.
doing all right. Not playing as much as I want, partly because of the ACL tears.
Gotcha.
And you got to rehab. You're spending time away, and
Yep.
that 2 6-month periods while you're rehabbing, they're getting better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was second string most of the way through, but I wanted to keep going and got an opportunity to work out for a NASCAR pit crew team, like to do a tryout. Prayed about it, felt like that was what God wanted me to do, and I thought as a finance and banking major, I could do that for 5 years, and then maybe, do something fun, kind of chase that. It was either that, go play football in Italy, or go work at Bank of America. I was like, well, I've already played football. Let me try this racing thing out, and then I'll go to the bank in 5 years. And I've yet to go to the bank. So I was a 16-year pit crew veteran, won a pit crew championship. I was on the first pit crew that was all athletes. It used to be mechanics, then they, around the time I got in, switched to athletes. Used to working under pressure, used to carrying heavy stuff, used to getting yelled at, traveling, working out. That was where it was all moving. The last 10 years I spent as a player coach. So I was the third ever black coach in NASCAR.
Wow.
So that was, something I'm proud of.
Yeah, for sure.
And then finished in a VP role. So I was head of culture and human performance and community engagement for Trackhouse Racing. But my claim to fame is probably at Chip Ganassi Racing before that. And that was where probably 2017, about the same time Rail got started, I just started speaking, working with companies. People were asking, hey man, your pit crews are very successful. Like, what are you doing? How did you get them? I noticed they were like 20th last year. Now they're first, or they were, so the formula was diversity, efficiency, culture, and kindness. So that's the platform that I still have now. I co-founded it with a guy named Sean Pete, and we built a good business, man. We have touched a lot of people, pharma, insurance. Dopest thing I'm doing right now is the guy that did the computerization for Auto Bill, Auto Wash Joint. It has an internal car wash program that he started in Ohio. And so it'll detail the whole inside of your car in 9.5 minutes. And they reached out to me. They think if they can get it down to 7, that they'll have a national product.
Wow.
And so I'm going up there next month to work with their crew. This is 6 people teams
Yep.
that can take your car, floor mats, windows, all that stuff. So
That's dope.
So I coach people and teams on culture. I have little random projects. I do pit crew challenges for companies, all based on just my time and coaching pit crews and trying to get people to move faster.
Hey man, so first of all, let's go ahead and give you your flowers, man. So you said you was a third black pit crew?
Third black coach, and NASCAR. Yeah.
Bro, they got to put you in the history books, my boy. Sure. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
And then also, too, to say, and this is real sidebar, this ain't got nothing to do with the subject, but I'm just going to say this because that's my dog, is that, bro, you looking at a 35 plus year long relationship.
Yeah.
So for any, especially my young people, y'all say, hey, this is my best friend. Y'all love to throw that word around. My best friend. Bro, true friendship stands the test of time.
Right.
And 35 plus years, me and this guy has been locked in through ups and downs, through thick and thin, you know what I'm saying, everything. And I don't mind saying this right now on this podcast. One of the best things that my brother has ever did for me was kick me out his house.
I didn't know where he was going with that. That's not what I thought he was going to say.
Listen,
hey, okay.
One of the best things he ever done for me was kick me out of the house. And when he did it, real, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was living together for a little bit. I was living with him for a little bit. And he kicked me out.
Right? Like a couple years?
What? Couple years.
That you was at the crib.
I was there for about maybe a year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It was about a year, so it ain't last long.
Hey, how was that conversation?
Well, first of all, Metcalf, I'm gonna tell my side because he had a shorty that he was really serious about, and I felt like, okay, all right, they about to. I think they got engaged pretty much. And then it was like, so yeah, I saw my time ticking anyway. Like, okay, all right, I'm about to be out because buddy about to. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you, it was the realest thing. That's why I say I got a lot of respect for him. The realest thing he said, real. He's like, Mel. He said, listen, I think we need to switch up some arrangements, right?
He didn't say that.
It was something along those lines. That might not be verbatim. He was like, I think we need to, reevaluate the situation or something like that, right? But what he said, Mel, you might not, now this is word for word, you might not understand why I'm doing this now, but you will understand and appreciate it later, which is why now I can sit here and say that's one of the best things that he could probably do, because Metcalf was working for NASCAR at the time. I was working at Walmart. Add that up. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whatever he was making, this is what I was making. Right. And so he was helping me, but kicking me out helped me even more, because it's like, nah, bro, you got to figure this thing out on your own. Like, don't be living off me. You know what I'm saying? Because I can take care of, all this, that, and the third. Like, bro, at the end of the day, you're going to have to be in position to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I appreciate, so whatever struggles I went through after that, bro, made me who I am today. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Lessons I learned from that, because as a man, I got to have my own too, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm blessed to, have my career with my wife and everything like that. But like, I don't know if I'd have stayed longer, I don't know where I would have ended up, you know what I'm saying? So definitely appreciate, you got to appreciate a real one in your corner. A good friend will tell you what's real. They ain't gonna massage you and make you feel good. They gonna tell you exactly what you need.
Bigger than mine now.
Never. But yeah, man. So
I think that's my side of the story too. So
yeah. So we agree on that. So man, let's get into this coaching the culture, man. Like switching gears here.
I was like, hey man, my guy, you got too much talent, bro, to be at Walmart.
Hey man, listen. Cause Walmart wasn't gonna cut it.
Ain't nothing wrong with Walmart.
No,
like it was a good stepping stone. But I was like, bro, you got so much in you.
Yeah.
And if no one has ever been great that was comfortable.
Yeah. Say that.
You know what I'm saying? So
say that. I think I remember Metcalf said something like, man, bro, you go back to your parents' house. I said, bro, my daddy said I couldn't come back, bro. Mike said, bro, I'm sure your dad. I said, bro, you know my dad, bro. When he said it, he meant it, bro. Don't come, you can't come back, bro. Yeah, so that's the type of love you need, man. That's the type of people you need in your corner. I think nowadays too many people got too many yes men in their corner, and they're not pushing you to greatness. Your best friend is your best friend because they tell you what you want to hear. Yeah. And so, yeah. But so transitioning to the culture, man. First question I got to ask, because how important is culture? I'm gonna give out this this statement, and then y'all can go off of that. Okay. My wife, she's in corporate America, and she does get a lot of training. So sometimes she throws some of this stuff at me, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's good. Let me write that down." But she said one of her trainings, they said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast."
Peter Drucker.
Who's that?
His name is Peter Drucker.
Okay. Yeah. So tell me, in your experience with, in your field, the same as coaching, what does that actually mean, and why is that such a true statement?
I use that in any, like, almost every kind of conversation, presentation I'm in is using that, because I think we put so much time in process and strategy. But if you have buy-in, if you have people that love what they do, one of the things that really got me motivated on this path was when I saw a stat that said that the majority of the heart attacks that happen in the U.S. happen on Monday mornings. Oh man, it's the stress. It's the boss is a pain in the neck. It's the culture is toxic. And you feel all that because you just came off a Sunday and Saturday where you was chilling and you was around people that you enjoy being around, and you got to sleep in, and you kind of got to disconnect from it from a little bit. But then Monday comes back in, and then you feel all that stuff again, and it's just putting people in the hospital, man.
That's crucial.
And so I think the culture piece it's the people you have, it's the precedents that you have, it's the motivation, the things that are rewarded, the things that are celebrated, it's the processes that you have, it's the passion and the purpose that you can help inspire. And if those things, so most people 99% cannot be, overworked, underpaid, and undervalued. You can't always pay people more. You might not be able to change the work volume, but you can value people.
Man.
And to me, that's what culture is.
That's
It's
huge.
Valuing the person, understanding who your people are, showing them that you care. And that doesn't have to be in work or money. Like showing that you care is free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so to me, the healthy cultures are the cultures that do the free stuff well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if that is happening, I don't have a heart attack on Monday because I'm excited. I'm
Right.
excited to come work with a guy like Terell because
Right.
I know what he's about.
Yep.
And I know he cares. And if I'm down, he's going to pick me up. And he probably did something dope over the weekend that I want to hear about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so to me, that's what culture is. And if you can have stuff like that in place, you can build on it. Then you can build speed. Then your turnover is down. Burnout is lower. Like that's the things that contribute to a healthy culture. So
Yep.
I believe that culture piece is huge. It's way more important than strategy.
You got anything to add to that, Terrell?
Yeah, I just want to take it to a personal perspective. When I was sitting in the room, and when I first got this position at the Harvest Center, I definitely was in a lot of rooms I didn't feel like I deserved to be in, just because of just insecurities and other things that I was dealing with internally when I first started 5 years ago. And I was in this room, and a guy asked me, what type of kids do you have on campus? And I said, all of them come from different type of cultures. And when he challenged me, and I felt a little, I want to say taken back by it, because I almost thought he tried to insult my intelligence by asking me, when you say culture, what do you mean? I hope you're not talking about race. And I said, no. Other kids come from a culture of love, survival, having a day way. Some kids come from my culture, which was, make a way. And back to what Mike was saying about the culture of loving people at the Harvest Center in Charlotte, I think that's the number one thing that we want to do. Love people consistently enough for them to let us in. Because those people come in our program broken, not loved, no consistency. And before we can even ask or hold them accountable to the goals and things that we provide, or the goals and things that we create and the plans, we have to love them first.
Yeah.
And then we all men of God, men of faith. I mean, that's the first rule too.
Yeah.
So we have to not forget about that. And I think the culture of loving people consistently will drive any relationship, any culture to go to the next level. So if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, I think you do. You want to show people that you value them and you love them if you can't pay them more, right? Or if you can't give them more. I know you was doing the training with us one time, and people, my coworkers, shout out to them, but they were just saying how they, burnt out and don't get breaks at work. And I raised my hand. I said, well, I take my own breaks.
Yeah.
I do my own celebration of myself. So again, that's different culture I come from.
Yeah.
That's not where they might have been dragged in jobs and never got to the point where they learned, you got to do this for yourself. So yeah, just loving on people, man.
So let me ask it, because you just said something crucial, man. So when I think about culture, one organization or institution, or what category of organization, I ain't gonna say like one where you can immediately tell what the culture is as soon as you walk in the building.
Right.
Church. No matter what church you go to, whatever church it is, as soon as you walk in the front door, you immediately know what the culture is.
Yep.
Immediately.
Right.
If you getting, the greeting at the door, your door greeters is probably pivotal in knowing, and setting the tone of the culture of the church. I never forget, my mom used to take us to Ohio to Rod Parsley Church, breakthrough ministries or something like that. And I was like a teenager. But bro, that was the first time I ever looked forward to going to church. Like I couldn't wait to go to church because the youth ministry was off the chain. Like it was so exciting, but also too the warmth of the church and how they welcomed you. I hadn't experienced that before. Our culture, our people, they'll judge you before they love you.
Yeah.
Ain't that, you know what I'm saying? But that's totally opposite of what God says. So, so saying that, kind of pivot to my next question: how difficult has it been? Because we all work in different spaces, and we all worked in the public sector, private sector, Christian sector, whatever. But when you're working in, you know, like Mike, when you go into these Fortune 500 companies, or Terrell, when you know, working with some of these kids, and it's not a Christian organization. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, we Christians, so love is the first principle, right? Yeah. So how difficult is it to teach or create culture to people who you might not be able to share your religious background or your Christian beliefs, but still you got to get that point across?
Time, right? Time and building that relationship. I think being transparent, being relatable, all those things come into play, especially, and I'm talking from my standpoint of how I get to know a family, of, you know, I get to know the mom and dad if they around, as far as mentoring wise. Like, okay, why is this kid like this? It's never like what's wrong, it's what happened, right? And so I changed the perspective when I asked the mom that. I'd be like, what happened? I'm like, what you mean what happened? No, like, what happened? Why is he like this? Yeah. And then we look at the history of the kid from 7 to 15. He's been getting everything he wants, regardless of what he do. He hasn't earned anything. So that's the culture you created with him. So how do we change that? We have to hold him accountable, grace-filled accountability, because now it's not like it's going to turn off overnight. Something you created since he was 7, he's 15 now. Right. So I think it's a thin line that you have to play for me in my school, and even at the Harvest Center, what I do. We don't want to make parents feel like they failed. Right, but we always want to go forward. Right. So I have to spend that time and get that relationship and ask those deep detailed questions to get what I need to be able to help them move forward and create a new culture in their household as much as I can, because I'm not there. But if I mentor a kid and he go home to the same culture and mom's not changing and no uncles, whoever around not changing, how do you expect me to change? Right. So just time. I feel like the time and the efforts that we put in, and it just pushing everything forward. Yeah. And learning people, and learning how to. Okay, this is a person that can take the bark. Yeah, yeah. But this not a person that can take the bark. Yeah. This is a person that likes emails. This is not a person that I can. Yeah. I might need to call this person. Yeah. Because she might read the email and feel offense. Yeah. So it's just all of this time, though. It's just time. Not too much of time. Yeah. But time that's impactful, I would say. And
coaching is case by case, because everything that works for some person don't work for everybody, right? Right. So, Mike, it got to be a little bit difficult. You know, Fortune 500 companies or whatever. Do you find it like you know, tiptoeing around, or, you know, thin lines type situation, or what?
I used to, but a mentor of mine, Walter Boston, your boss, not your direct boss, your CEO boss, Colin, also a mentor of mine. One of the things I've learned from like guys like Colin and Walter is to, in certain situations where maybe it's not the right stage to be preaching, you know, is to relate the situations to Old Testament figures, because those are widely regarded as, regardless of what your religious stance is, like not everybody accepts Jesus, but everybody understands David and Goliath. You know, so if it's a situation where we're a new company and we're trying to tackle a big company, we're a new tech company and we're trying to compete against Google, like, okay, hey, I'm familiar with the story of David and Goliath. It's a small shepherd boy who is trying to stand in the way of a giant. You know, and that's where we are right now. Or there is a new opportunity. You know, it's kind of reminds me of this, and I can just say this ancient figure, or quote a proverb and say, you know, ancient wisdom, or, you know, old literature, and I can use just words to where, like, if you're a believer and you're a Christian, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's not in a way that is offensive. But I can still talk about there was this time where a man named Moses had to lead people from one place to the next. You know? So if we're in a transitionary period, we just got a merger. Like I can still use language because there's enough story. The Old Testament long enough. Most of it's thick, full of stuff. So that's kind of the way that I've learned how to share my faith and my background and my mindset. But also keep people engaged regardless of their faith. That's
dope. So you still find ways to to get it in there, to instill it, to implement it in your training and your coaching. All right. So next question is, when it comes to coaching cultures or creating cultures, what seem to be some of the barriers that you face when trying to, like, for instance, Mike, you trying to help an organization with their culture, or like you just mentioned, Terell, you having to deal with different families and you having to figure out what the culture is, and then now you can address the culture, but how difficult, or what are some of the challenges, what are some of the barriers that you guys have faced when trying to do what you do?
For me, a lot of times it's the multi-generational challenges. So if you got a room full of, you got baby boomers, Gen Z, millennial, you know what I mean? Wow. So these people think we need to do this. The young folks think we need to do this. It's somewhere in the middle is probably what we actually need to do. But the young folks don't want to work. They don't want to be here. The old folks want to work all the time. That's all they care about, And so it's just trying to find the language to get people to unite around. Can be, honestly, it's like everybody wants the company to be successful. I think at the end of the day, nobody's showing up to any sort of role hoping that it fails. Right. So it's trying to find the commonalities. And then I just think that the world right now so much is giving people so much of what they want, like it kind of stars you what you need. And so a lot of times, like the stuff that we actually really need, we're not aware of it.
Yes.
And so those older folks need those young people. They need help navigating technology and seeing the world through new eyes and new opportunities, because that's where the new ideas and the innovation is going to come from. And then the younger folks need that wisdom. They need to lean on people that have been through multiple decades of different administrations and all that kind of stuff to find where the balance can be. So the hard part for me, with culture is just like generationally more than I think generational stuff for me, like the work that I've been doing is harder than like racial political stuff.
Right.
It's just different generations, man, are just so different.
Man, we in this funny space of life right now where we're like in the middle, right? So we got the younger generation under us that are completely lost their mind. Like
it's just they grew up with TikTok and all this stuff, that we didn't have. My son is 8.
Yeah.
And this summer was the first year where 8 and 5, they would just go run in the neighborhood. And one day I was like, I don't know where they're at. Man, I need to get him a little watch or something. I was like, man, my mom didn't know where we was. We were from 8, even younger. And man, we would be up by the little mart up there off South Boulevard, Archdale. I mean,
street light come on, time to go home.
A couple miles from home, the park up on by Emerald Apartments, Emerald Bay Apartments. I mean, so I was like, could you imagine nowadays? Like kids got phones at like 6, 7 years old.
Yeah,
They know where they are all the time, and they're on the screens and stuff. It's just we just grew up in a completely different world.
Yeah, and we can talk about that. I mean, as far as like raising our kids. I mean, Terell got a 3-year-old, right? 2-year-old.
Acts like he 5.
Acts like he 5. And you got 8 and 5. I got 2 16-year-olds and a 23, 24-year-old at the house. And this culture has really, like you said, the devices that they have has opened the door to a whole lot of stuff. So even that part of coaching the culture is different now. But I think that, so going back to my original point, as far as like we being in the middle, I think that we have to be more in tune to what these younger kids are in, just so that we can be relatable. I think some of these young kids look at us like dinosaurs because we not relatable. We not into what they're into. Right. That's the reason why, at the school I work at or whatever, kids of will flock to me, because I try to be in tune as much as I can, right? But do you find that the people above us, so you got the younger generation who, my experience, you got the younger generation who won't listen because they know it all. Then you got the older generation who don't want to get out the way. Do you experience that in your field? Because I experience it a lot. Like, it's old people that's like, yo, like, y'all raised us. It's time for us to take over and you to step to the side. But it's like they just holding on for dear life.
Yeah, I think I see it, but I don't experience it just because my lane is my lane. It's a lot of people that I meet or I come across that don't have my story. Yeah, and they not as relatable as me. And there's nothing I gotta try to do. It's just who I am. It's how I show up in every room. It's how I show up at, different parents' homes and things of that sort. So I've seen it, but I haven't gotten to that level yet to where, we walk in the room building strong mindsets. We're here because we're doing this now, and it just haven't got to that level. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to deal with that here shortly as we grow.
So I know this is something that me and you can connect on because we work with youth, right? I find myself recently, last 2 years or so, spending more time trying to help kids define who they are and figure out who they are. You just said something very pivotal. Like when you walk in every room, when you do, it's just you. Yeah. That's the same way I am. Like when I was working with y'all back, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. God made me that way, right? And I knew that was my calling because it came so natural, right? When I was a kid, I was in trouble a lot. So me working with troubled kids was just ordained by God, right? But like kids nowadays don't know who they are because social media, they most of the time they're portraying somebody that they're not. Most of the time, the young ladies are putting so many filters on their pictures that your picture ain't even the real depiction of who you are, right? And so, like we was talking about earlier, some of the guys, if they athletes, they posting stuff that ain't true. I got an offer. I'm taking my talents to this, man. Whatever, right? So,
let me add to that. Yeah. When you look at what we dealing with, right? What we dealing with this youth, right? And you have so many different ways, and you be like, well, this kid from Charlotte, why he acting like he from Chicago? That's because you can pick it up and see what they doing in Chicago. Yep. You can pick your phone up and see what they doing in Detroit, Philly, New York, LA, wherever it is that's popping at the time to be like, they can copy the style, how they dress, their culture, and it's just like who's the hottest culture right now. What city is that? So we're gonna be like that. We could just even go to dancing, the dance moves, the how many we could do streaming now. Kids are streaming and copying off the way somebody else might stream from another. Not really it's no originality. It's just I'm doing this now, and that's just what it is because I'm gonna be different from what it is. But everybody's doing the same thing, looking outside of their culture and trying to find another one because somewhere across the line they're not getting attention or they've been told that who they are isn't cool. And I always say, like, one of our core values is I control cool, meaning you're not a follower, meaning that if you think picking up rocks and throwing them in the trash can every day, if that's your vibe, that's your vibe.
I like that.
And you have to make sure that you're not influenced because you can't be green. That's what they call it nowadays, green. Yeah. It can't be green to different things because now you're going down a road that you don't know nothing about. Yeah. Stick to what you know and learn different things along the way. But the essence of who you are, I think that's why I chose to mentor kids 12 to 18 because that's those make it or break it years to where they transition from middle school to high school. That's a big transition age as well. Yeah. I'll say this and I'll let Mike jump in. My biggest transition with kids are from 8th grade to 9th grade. So we'll have like, even now I'm working with some kids who was terrible last year in 8th grade. Mind you, this is the dynamics they dealing with in 8th grade. I'm the oldest in the school. I know the school. I know everybody. I'm about to leave. I'm feeling myself. I'm talking about sex. I'm talking about smoking. I'm fighting. I'm doing all this stuff. But then when you go to a school like West Charlotte, you go to a school like Mala Creek, or you go to a school like Hardin, or let's push it out. You go to a school like Valentine Ridge, and then you in the class with a 18-year-old. And they looking at you like, bro, what are you doing?
Nah,
we in here like
small fry again.
Exactly, like we in here learning. What you doing? Like, this is my life.
Yeah,
I have to pay attention to this now.
Yeah.
So it could either turn them, or they can either, all right, that's you. You just want to be who you was, and you haven't grown up. You haven't grew up yet. So that transition, I want to say between 7th and 9th grade, is a very important time for. And of course, before it was probably elementary going into middle, but now it's that middle school going into high school, because now I might be in the class with a 18-year-old girl that got to go home and take care of little brothers and sisters.
Right. Yeah.
So she ain't playing. She's not in there playing or trying to get attention.
Yeah.
Because she knows she thinking about what she got to do when she get home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you might be in there with a somebody that just took their SATs. They in there, they talking about SATs, you in there playing.
Yeah.
So they might turn around and say something to you and do something to you, and not even be like, oh, I'm not, you don't have to be from that life to get into that. Like, I'm just going to get into that because you aggravating. You like this little cousin that's getting on my nerves while I'm trying to learn. So it's a whole different dynamic. Yeah. And I see that with a lot of my 8th graders that was last year, and they going into high school, and I could tell they maturity, that level is going up slowly but surely, because they're calmer. They're like really observing and taking in things more so just reacting to what they mind telling them to do. So I think that age range is very important now.
Yeah. I think, Matt, so to piggyback off what you were saying, like, I've been fortunate enough. I got 20 years of experience in the school system, and I've been blessed to work at an elementary, middle, and high school in private, public, and, all type of sectors, right? By far, middle school is the most challenging. Yeah. And it's because what you said, they're trying to figure themselves out. They don't know whether they want to go left or right. And then also, too, that's to piggyback on the point that you made, it's that time, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, where you start getting a lot of latchkey kids, right? So latchkey kids is kids that got the key to the house because mama at work. So when they get out of school,
it's whatever.
It's on them. Do your homework. Even some of them even know how to cook, fix their own meal, because mama ain't gonna get home till 9 o'clock because she got to work. You know what I'm saying?
Be tired,
and she gonna be tired.
She don't feel like cooking,
and she ain't gonna help you with the homework. She ain't got time. Of course, you got some parents that you got some super women out there that do it all, man. Yes, big shout to them.
Absolutely.
I know a couple, but
same.
Yeah, but they do it all, and so. But with that being said, then you graduate on to high school, and like you say, you face those challenges and you face those things. Like, man, what is really. That transition to the 9th grade probably is the most important year, because that's going to make or break you, let you know whether you're going to be able to stick this thing out or whether you going to kick the can by 10th, 11th grade. So that is definitely a pivotal time. I'm
just like to close it back though. The older generations are facing that same thing, just on the other end of it, right? Because they've had this same identity for now. I don't think you're going to see from our generation people have the same role or work at the bank or the whatever for 40 years, where that's very common. Generations older than us, man, I worked at the plant or the site for 30, 40 years. But it's the identity.
Yeah.
And you do something so long, you kind of, it's hard for you to transition out of it. I think it's less about not wanting to give up, control or influence or power or anything like that. I think it's just people just don't know. Just scared to navigate change. Like, what am I going to do if I'm not here?
And so to that point, Mike, talk about how important is it. So for whatever respective space you in, corporate America, working with youth, myself, working with kids, coaching basketball, whatever it is, how important is it to stay current with the times? Not necessarily saying that you have to convert or you have to, completely change, but there has to be some type of adaptability when it comes to the culture and what's going on in society, especially me and you, when we dealing with you, we definitely gotta, stay abreast or whatever. But like, even in, when you go to these different organizations, and what if they systems are outdated, or if they still doing stuff like, hey, wait a minute, now it's 2025, so how important is, and once again, we talk about some of the older people who's been doing it for so long, and they don't want to change, they don't want to, but that, in my opinion, affects your culture. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's important for any organization to invest in technology and use AI and be aware of what's happening, because you can, we're in a global economy now.
Yeah.
Like it used to be regional, or, your town, where now everything that we do dollar for dollar is going to have an impact somewhere else in the world, because we're tied to so many different things. And so I think it's just wisdom to, not necessarily that you have to change, have to evolve, have to keep up with the time, but you do need to be open to it. To, like have an awareness that, I might not know everything. My way might not be the right. What if I'm wrong? So if you're able to have that awareness and ask those tough questions, people can see that. People can see and feel like, hey, this is somebody, he might be a little bit outdated, but his mindset is young and pliable. Like, he's not stuck. Old dog can't teach him new tricks, right? Because then people don't really want to work with you, right? Because the world is moving fast, and the pace that we're experiencing now is the slowest pace we're ever going to experience. Like everything is only accelerating. So I think it's just being able to have the mindset that, okay, I'm just creating an openness. I'm generally pretty unplugged. Like God bless him. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Don't know anything about him. People tell it's like somebody, there's an unfortunate incident. Somebody got stabbed on a train. Last light rail. I'm pretty unplugged. I don't know about a lot of this stuff, but what I do is stay current in the Proverbs and just classic stuff, because history repeats itself. Yes. And so if you're pretty rooted and grounded in just some of the core fundamental stuff, you can always apply it in new applications. Yeah. And so you got to either do one or the other. Like if you're gonna be closed-minded, be rooted in like ancient truth. And to me that's the word, because that will keep you relevant. Because wisdom is wisdom. Yeah.
You can see in the school system, you can see how. So, like ChatGPT, right? You can see how some schools are fighting against ChatGPT, don't want the kids to use it, don't want to but your teachers use it to create their curriculum or whatever,
worksheets, all types of stuff.
Right. So my thing is, but the problem is that and which I get why the schools and teachers don't want to use it, because the kids are cheating on it.
Right. They're
but
not learning.
Teach them how to use it. Right. You know what I'm saying? To their benefit. Like there's a way you can use it without plagiarism, without,
right.
It can help you be more efficient. It can help, cut out time, stuff like that. So I think, that's an example of kind of bucking against the current culture or the society, the change. Like this stuff is, whether you like it or not, it's happening. It's happening, and AI is going to take a lot of jobs. It's going to take a lot, and if you don't know how to work AI, you might be out of a job. So you definitely need to learn how to adapt to that.
And it's affecting white collar positions. Yeah. Aggressively. It's the first time any sort of technological move has affected white collar positions more than blue collar.
Wow. And how is that? Can you give me an example? How is this?
Because a lot of the blue collar stuff has to be done with your hands. With your hands. It has to be like that you're driving the Amazon truck from the factory to deliver a package.
Right. But like in what way is it hurting the white collar?
The person who designs and oversees the system that coordinates to the people that are driving the trucks from the warehouse are needed. Gotcha. So that used to be like a warehouse manager. That now can just be done on the system.
I mean, that's. I mean, you pull up to restaurants now, and they got a couple of non-human ran restaurants. Like it's all bots. Right. I was freaked out not long ago. was at a bowling alley, and they had the little robot that was bringing you your stuff. And I was like, bro, it's here. We in the Jetson era, like you know what I'm saying. And they say we 50 years behind. You know what I'm saying. Whatever's out now, they say we 50 years behind. So ain't no telling what else they got. You know what I'm saying, under the hat. But so let me ask a question to both of y'all in your respective spaces. What would be something that our listeners can take away from this podcast as far as building cultures and coaching coaches, whether in the youth space or the corporate America, however it go? What is something that you probably say that you'll say to probably anybody you encounter, because it's a known thing, that you have to address? Pretty much, I think in all of our coaching spaces, there's one thing that you probably tell about every one of your clients, right? What is that thing? What is it that they can take away, and how can you help them to improve culture in their respective spaces? So
I want to share an activity that I do with age group that I go to. So we're on workshop tours right now. Okay. Look at the website. Hey. We'll go website till we come
Plug
to
their website. What's the website?
www.buildingstrongmindsets.org.
Buildingstrongmindsets.org.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got the socks on.
Hey.
I got a pair of socks for you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Let me see that. Buildingstrongminds.org.
Mindsets.
Buildingstrongmindsets.org.
So when we do go into any other area, any organization, it's an activity that I do. Okay. We break the ice. We ask kids the question they always want to hear. They always ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah. What do you want to do after high school? Okay, you got some people saying doctors, lawyers, football players, basketball players, entertainers, actors, streamers, whatever. So I have the group, whether it don't matter if it's big or small group. I'll have them write on the board everything that they do from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep on a daily basis. Write that on the board. So you have one bold one that want to share it. If we have it written on a board or we write it on a paper, we'll just pick a random person. So we'll go to the person and we'll say, okay, wake up, check phone, brush my teeth, get in the shower. Just normal stuff. Come home, homework, chill, bed, do it all over again for 5 days. So, and the kids will just be shell-shocked. So where do it say that you want to be a lawyer in that schedule? Right. Where do it say it? I don't see you want to be a lawyer. I don't see you want to be a ball player, a doctor, or none of these things. So we have to really be the thing. Let them show it to them, because it's easier. That's why we do scenarios. We do role play about different situations, because the number one thing that I say to youth is, I'm not going to tell you to ignore it. That's what people ignore it. It's impossible to ignore a big old fight in my lunchroom. It's impossible to ignore my teacher getting an argument with another student. Now our lesson is dead for the day. Yeah, we want to help you navigate through moments like that. Yeah, because if you don't have that tool, you'll get sunk into that. So it's more so of just pushing forward with getting them ready for a life that is coming, and that's what it is, and it's coming. Not the life that was. It's over. The way we was raised is over. The way that we came up, the way that it was, it's done. It's done. Don't even worry about it coming back. Now, for us, as the age that I am and you guys are, we can bridge the gap between that, and we can keep what he said, which is about the history, just the history of everything. We don't have to know current events, because we know what's going on. Like him, I've been unplugged for a minute now. I haven't been on social media. I haven't did anything. Just unplugged from a lot of stuff. In situations like that, you become numb to it, because it's been happening since the beginning of time. So I think just showing our youth, just showing them what type of culture do you want to create with yourself, as far as what type of life you want. What type of car do you want to drive? Where you want to live? What does that look like? What is it going to take for you to get there? Start visualizing it. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. It changes for me. I think when you're a speaker, you got to have Rolodex of topics that you can roll with it at any given time. But one of the main things that I'm really trying to get across to people right now is just overcoming imposter syndrome. We talked a little bit about it earlier. We are in a new era, and we are working with technology in a way that has to be done. From what I understand, ChatGPT 5 is like 270 million times the processing power of 4. Something like that. It was an insane number.
Yeah.
I was like, how many zeros was that?
Right.
Roll that slide deck back. It was like that.
Yeah.
It's massive. And so jobs and everything are going to change, and then we're going to be in roles and have to find new ways to raise money and to coach and figure out new personalities are kind of developing and new fears and new, so all of us are going to be in positions, especially people that are our coaches, because we're the ones kind of out front, right? So we're the ones that kind of have to see what's coming and then throw it back and be like, hey, do this. If you want to be that attorney, you're going to have to do this. And so I think a lot of us are getting in positions and have been. I know myself, just getting in NASCAR. It was one of the, I'm the first race. I'm like, man, am I the only one? I thought I made a mistake. And some people told me that. They were like, bro, you're not going to make it. Yeah. So it wasn't even just my own personal doubts. It was other people's doubts too. Yeah. And some of those doubts because they cared about me. They were like, hey, man, we want you to be in something that you can be successful in.
Coaching the coach.